What's up, guys? If you're watching this, we're going to be talking about what's changing in the fitness industry for marketing in 2026, and specifically what's happening with Facebook and Meta ads. Also, what type of marketing and what channels you should be going into this year to have the biggest impact on your area. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Peter Day. I'm a professional marketer with over 14 years experience. I used to work for Optus, which is a big telco in Australia, doing Facebook ads, media, advertising, and online ads and Google ads for a number of years, and I opened up my first gym over a decade ago. So I've been doing marketing and ads for gyms for over 10 years now as well. And I can tell you this year, in fact, the last probably 6 to 12 months, I've seen the biggest shift in marketing in the fitness industry. And I'm going to go through what I've seen. Meta ads are probably the biggest topic at the moment. If you've been owning a gym for a while, you have probably done Meta ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, and you've probably noticed that there's quite a bit of changes. And I'm going to walk through what I'm seeing and also what I know is coming up and the things that I've tested, which is working currently for my own gym and the gyms I work with Apex. So this is going to be a lot of info. I'm going to go through a lot of, I'm going to really pack this really dense. So I promise it'll be worth your time to listen to the end as well. But importantly, I'm going to go through some of the key changes about what I've seen come up in the industry. And if you've been doing marketing for a while, you're finding that the leads are slowing down. They're not picking up as much. It's getting harder. It's getting more expensive. You're not alone, but I do want to say that marketing still works. It will always work. If you're still marketing how you've been marketing the last couple of years and it's getting harder, more trickier, more challenging, you're not getting the right results you're after, you're probably doing the same type of marketing you're doing for a number of years. And I'm going to show you what some examples of creators which are working at the moment, plus also talk through other channels, because what I'm noticing is that when you do a good marketing mix, you get better results as well. Now, marketing still works. It's lazy marketing which fatigues. So your ads might be fatiguing, for example. It depends where you're up to in terms of your journey, but there's certain things which do click and certain things that don't. Creating cut through is the hardest thing right now in the industry. So I'm going to strike into it. The purpose of this, we want to achieve, firstly, stronger Facebook ads or Meta ads. They still work. They're still the best channel, but they're not as effective as they used to be. If you're only advertising on Meta, you're missing out on a channel. So we want to have better ads, which create better cut through, and I'll go through that in a moment. We want to have a proper marketing strategy. Proper marketing strategy across multiple channels. I think that's really key. And most of the time I see marketing for gyms and what they're doing, they're not on enough channels. They're not doing it well enough on each of the channels as well. We want to have a consistent growth strategy in 2026. I think we can all agree on that one. So what's the issue? What's the issue right now in marketing? Facebook ads are getting more expensive, and they will continue to get more expensive. Now, with media channels, as I said, I've worked in media for a long time before I was even in the fitness industry. They do, especially the popular ones, they get more expensive over time. More people get onto it. Nearly every gym is advertising on Facebook. Meta, same thing. I'm going to use those words intermittently, but everyone's advertising on there. And the issue with that one, and even the big players, they're all doing it. So the problem is it pushes the price up. So that's one of the big issues. Many ads are looking similar. Heaps of people are doing the looking for 10 mums in my area. A lot of people are doing a picture of the gym with some text over the top. So many ads are looking the same. And that's a big issue when you're trying to pull your brand through. You're trying to show them how good you are in studio, especially if you've got a really good experience. If it's not being portrayed through the ads, people who aren't going to your gym, they don't know. And you might have a couple hundred people in your studio, but you've got thousands of people outside that don't know what's happening in your studio. And the ads should absolutely reflect how good you are in the sessions, in the studio itself. Otherwise, you're doing yourself a disservice and basically you look like everyone else. We don't want to rely on one channel. It's not a strategy. One channel is not a strategy, period. And the ironic thing with multiple channels is that they work better together. In other words, if you have email campaigns going, you have Google ads running, and you have Facebook ads running, it helps the ads. And if your organic marketing is looking better, it helps them too. So let's walk through it. Here's the other real thing. Not everyone buys from Facebook and Instagram. I don't know the last thing I bought from Facebook or Instagram. Now, a lot of this presentation will go through Meta campaigns because that's a big topic. But this is, if you're just doing advertising in this one, you're just missing out, like period. Now, there's a lot of channels out there. You've got organic socials, referrals, emails, tattoo campaigns, SEO, Google ads. You're doing Google ads? Not many gyms are doing that at the moment. Meta ads, of course. Sell by chat, your own channels, your store frontage, local ambassadors, SMS. The crazy thing is, these aren't even all the channels. You can generate leads off any channel on this page. You can. I'm not saying to do all of them. That's not what I'm saying here. But where I'm trying to go is a lot of people just focus on one. That's an issue. And then you're overly reliant. Your entire business, your life is reliant on this one channel, which you might be outsourcing to someone who maybe doesn't have a gym or isn't doing ads properly. So you're relying on them to pull the leads through that you need to survive into your sales funnel to get members. This is an issue, and it's a huge risk if this is what you're doing at the moment. So again, I won't go through all the channels today. It's just too much there, and you can go channel by channel. But you do absolutely want to execute these. Ideally, if you're time poor, start with the most scalable channels, such as Google Ads, emails, Meta. If you're money poor, go with the channels which you might take more time. Outreach, B2B, sell by chat, those kind of things. And you can automate a lot of those things too. But you want to ideally look at what your resources are at the moment, and you still want to execute well in each of those channels. So don't try to replicate used marketing campaigns which we know work. If you've never done an email campaign before and you start doing them on your own, they're probably not going to be that great because you haven't done structures with that before. And there's tricks and tips and secrets to all of these things to execute them properly. So I just wanted to kind of pull that out because a lot of the industry, there's what they shoot for, and that's all they shoot for. So to be clear, Facebook marketing is still effective. It still works, period. It's just not as effective as it used to be. If you've been running ads for years, they're likely performing worse, getting repetitive, or looking similar to competitors. Does it sound familiar? This is probably the big epiphany that a lot of owners are realizing in the last kind of 6 to 12 months. Now, you might have heard this one before. This reigns true for Facebook ads and for all of your marketing, but people buy off people that they know, like, and trust. So the sweet spot's in the middle, as the arrow shows. We want to be creating all of the channels, whether it's through paid media or whatever it might be, getting them to know us, getting them to like us, and getting them to trust us. And you can amplify this faster through Facebook ads. And the good thing with this is this can be applied to email campaigns, organics, referrals, Facebook ads, Google. You can apply it to any marketing channel. It's called media, social media, all those kind of things. These are all media channels, whether you pay for it or whether it's earned. It doesn't particularly matter. We want to rotate these ones. So we don't just want to have the looking for 10 males in your area. It's boring. Also, as an example with ads, if you're just targeting the people who are looking for 10 spots right now, you're only targeting people who are in the market for a gym membership today. Now, I don't have an exact figure on how many people are actively looking for gym memberships right now. 10%, 10, 15%, whatever it is. Most people you're not. So you're trying to also convert future buyers. And the way you do that is by building likability. They know you and they trust you. Because then when they do decide to make the decision, guess where they're going to go? They're going to go to your local studio. HQ can't do this stuff. It's got to be localized. So let's start with optimizing it. What's working in 2026? Some creatives need to create cut through. You have to get cut through. You need to have a thumb stopper in 3 seconds. Otherwise, they're just going to move on. You have to do this one. The interesting thing with the fitness industry, we are behind almost every other industry in our marketing. And I'll explain in a second, but we typically lag behind other industries. And it's just a fact. So if you look at a lot of the big players in the market, fast food, for example, those kind of guys, their marketing and what they do in terms of like PR, those kind of things are usually a long way ahead of what we do from a local business or from a gym perspective. So you need to create cut through, period. You need to build personality. If they don't know who you are through ads, they're not going to come to the studio. If you look bland, you're going to seem like everyone else. You need to build this out. And they get to see you. I know a lot of people don't like being on front of camera. You don't have to be silly or anything like that. But this builds trust because they know who you are before you've come in. And guess what happens over time? They get to know you and they're more likely to buy. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple of little examples. And I've got, so basically for the last 12 months, I've been actually doing these styles of video creatives, not just pans around the class. They're very boring. We're not trying to build a basic video. We're trying to create cut through and trying to get people to remember us. Now think of this like a series. It's not 1 or 2 creatives that work. Now, without going into all the details here, it's not that these creatives are the ones you're going to flip your entire strategy to. You need to have a variation of creatives in a curated way, which builds likability, gets cut through, and then also sells. You need the whole strategy. Otherwise, you're going to get creatives which might work, might not. Video creatives are the most polarizing on Facebook. What I mean by that, these are going to be your best performing ads and your worst performing ads. So just if you go into the style of creatives, just be prepared for that one. Static ads are lazy marketing ads. They go pretty well. There's better and worse ways to do it, and I still use static ads, just to be clear. However, I pair that in with video creatives to this is what really builds the brand, and it still gets click through. It still gets good cost per leads. Polish that with a static campaign, which creates the campaign. And the good thing with this one is this is a long-term strategy. So visual hooks we know work. You need to create thumb stoppers. I'm going to show you an example. I'm going to show you a visual frame example. Now that's just the visual frame ones. For those that were really privy would notice I've changed the microphone there. That's just to keep your attention. That's it. These are proven strategies. It's just to create attention and to keep you watching to the next frame. You can do some a little bit more with more cut through, some with less. But the point of it is that we're trying to hold their attention through the actual video itself. F45 is a playful brand. Therefore, the creatives that we build is going to be playful against what we're trying to portray. That's how we are in the studio. We're playful in the studio. We're kind. We're very polite. We come in. We have fun. We do giveaways. That's what we're trying to portray in our marketing, because this, when they see this, they kind of have a bit of a giggle. They come in the studio. They get another bit of a giggle. That's who we are as a brand. Another variation or another pillar, and there's a bunch of these, is localization. So if you can actually build creatives which people in the area will recognize, then they are more likely to come into the studio. So personality, localization, and relatability. Here's an example. This one's people in this area around C4 know this particular spot, of course. These seem silly. Now, if you had a little giggle with any of these ones, remember these are ads. So if you're giggling with them now or having a little bit of a laugh, or you're more entertained than a picture of someone doing battle ropes and writing something like males, busy mums in the area or something like that, then we want to do this. The other thing which does work too is we're trying to also get them to be more, we're trying to also connect with the person or the prospect, which is more in the copy, which I won't go through in this presentation. If your ads don't, stop the scroll in 3 seconds. Sound like a human. Show personality. Feel local and build authority. You're invisible. This is why a lot of the times people are changing the picture, and then they're changing from a 4 week to a 6 week. I think it's the offer, or maybe it's the area or something like that. It's because the brand and the cut through hasn't been built. Now, the reason why I'm so confident in these ones, I've been doing this for my ads at my own gym. We're getting really fatigued started last year. And interestingly, I look at marketing a lot, being a marketer. I noticed brands in other industries doing this marketing already. I was saying earlier how we're behind other industries. I saw a video about 2 days ago where a guy slid in a full suit trying to sell me a house. Full grown male in their 50s. This shit works. And if they're doing it because it makes, it works, it creates cut through, and it stands out from the crowd. People have a laugh and go, oh, that guy's relatable. This is proven. This isn't, I'm not just, we're trying to use virality, audio cues, visual cues in some of the ones. There's other pillars as well, like the anti-Adam, big fan of. I've got some examples that I've been using with that one. If you want to know more examples and you want to have a look at this and what it looks like, so I've only shown you 3, I've got heaps. There's a link I'm going to leave down below. We can jump on a call and I can actually go through a lot of these marketing campaigns with you guys. Please only jump on if you're a gym owner though, of course, but I do have more examples of those ones as well. Long-term profitable metal campaigns. I think we can all agree we're after a long-term strategy. We're not after like the creative or the image which works this week. We're after something which works long-term. You need to have aggressive visual hooks as part of the strategy. Not all of them do this, by the way. Like, it's not like every single video is going to be like this. We want to have some which create cut through. Pattern interruption. We know that works. Local call outs. That also means personalized call outs. So yes, when you say, I know I've been kind of playing on a little bit, when you do call out ladies or mums or something like that, I'm using that as a bit of a, that still works when you call the people out. You just want to use it in conjunction with a actual marketing campaign, which gets attention and builds authority and also builds personality around it. So I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm just saying you want to use it paired with other types of creatives. Trainer-led videos. I know some of you guys, it's a bit tricky and don't, want to. It just means that they see you before they come into the studio. You can do it yourself. You do it with your trainers. I'd recommend the manager or the owners to jump in. Strategic retargeting. There's ways you can retarget, and you can also you can capture emails, those kind of things, so you can retarget on the back of it, which works great. And you need to do creative testing. You're probably not launching enough creatives. I don't know who's doing, if you're doing your own marketing, whatever, you're probably not doing enough. Ads don't fatigue, lazy marketing fatigues. So that's Meta Ads in a nutshell. The marketing foundations for long-term success. So we do want to have Facebook and paid ads. So like Google. Google's a great channel at the moment. It's a very different channel. Emails, socials, referrals. We want to be looking at owned and earned media. Campaigns and local targeted marketing. Reaching out to schools, businesses if you have businesses in the area, and tactile campaigns like Easter or Valentine's Day. Like those kind of things do actually have a bit of an impact. You want to release them in a periodic manner. The studio needs to have consistent ways to generate leads. We do want to call out and contact people quickly via the script and have a solid plan for conversions. We want the sales process to also feel like it's part of this process. So if you're going to have this type of marketing or whatever brand you're trying to portray in your area, again, if it's a different F45, you can portray a different brand. You don't have to copy this style, but you do want to make it feel like they're connected with the audience. The other thing so that's Facebook ads. Now, the question then is, okay, there's a lot of channels on there. What channels do we do in what frequency? Now, I could go channel by channel with these ones. You want to have more channels in market. Most people don't do enough of these. They focus on one or two. Meta ads, we just went through. Emails, try to aim for 3 to 4 a month. And here's the kicker with emails. It's not sale. Because what happens? People get bored. In media, there's a rule. It's called the 3/4 rule. 3/4 of your media you send out should be entertainment or media that people enjoy. So if you look at Facebook ads, for example, every 4th post is an ad. If you look at TV, in a half-hour show, 22 minutes is the show, 8 minutes is ads. On radio, in a 1-hour block, there's 15 minutes of ads. It's a studied ratio in media. If you're just sending sales email again and again, you're just basically hurting your own audience and doesn't build trust, and they don't get to know you. So you want to be signing off with Peter and building stories and building trust, because they'll see your email campaign, then they'll also see your Facebook ad. Then they'll jump on your Instagram and they'll see what you're like in person. Then they'll go, I actually might try these guys out. It all links together. Your emails should reflect this exact same. Go back to know, like, and trust. The crazy thing with doing this, when you have a strategy which works, then the email you send as the sale works better. It's really interesting. And also, you're increasing the frequency of this one. This is one of the biggest channels. Referrals. Don't just leave it to organic referrals or word of mouth or what just happens. You want to actually curate and choreograph the way referrals are done at multiple touch points in your studio. Socials, 4 posts a week, 2 hand raises a week. People can buy for people they know, like, and trust, and these posts build on these as well. Members page. This is a great strategy. And also this includes WhatsApp chats, those kind of things. This is an owned channel to ask for referrals and build trust. Sell by chat, automated responses, reaching out social media channels, and consistent flows. Tactical campaigns, we want to be launching these quite frequently in the gaps there. And Google ads. I won't go on it for this one, but Google ads is one of the best strategies to get people who are quite warm. Now, this is what's called a pull channel. A push channel is anything you push out to market, like an ad, like a meta ad, you're pushing it out. Emails, you're pushing it out. Radio, you're pushing it out. Google's a pull channel. People search for it. They'll search gym in my area, group training facility, or whatever it might be. It's all about intent with Google. So when I've done Google ads for Optus, I've done it obviously for many gyms, including my own. You can choose what intent you want to do. So for example, with our strategy, we use high intent words: group training facility, HIIT training. I don't use generic words like weight loss because it's just too broad and you probably won't get the right people. I want people who are interested in group training to go into my facility. So that's a really good one there too. So that's the real quick version. I just want to give an update about what's happening with marketing. In short, most people aren't on enough channels. Most gyms aren't executing well on those channels. If your meta ads are fatiguing, it doesn't mean that meta ads don't work. It means that your creative is getting boring. And we want to be doing more creatives, which is actually building up the brand in those areas and having a marketing mix across multiple channels, which also builds your brand and works together. That's what I'm seeing working for the studio, for my own gym, and also for the studios that I work with as well. Now, if this all sounds interesting, you want to go faster, I'm going to leave a link down below to jump on a call with me. I will go through and do a marketing analysis of your studio, what channels you're in, and have a look at the execution to see if it's enough to hit the targets that you're after. I work with a lot of different gyms. I work for my own business, which is called the Apex Academy. So I work one-on-one with gym owners executing these strategies and more. But usually when people jump on with me, they want to make more money. And the main thing, usually what they're missing is a good, solid marketing and lead funnel strategy into their business. So that's why usually when I jump on with people, this is the thing we look at. And I help execute this with you. So that way we don't miss, we just get shit done. So I'll leave a link down below, guys. If you want to know more, jump on a call with me. Otherwise, I hope you took a lot away from this as well. Guys, keep hustling. There's a lot of opportunity out there as well. Get cut through with your marketing. If it's not, please reach out. I see so many great studios that don't have the marketing strategy to back up what they're doing in studio. It's tricky. I get it. I've been doing marketing for a long time, and this isn't an easy thing. You're already the CEO, the CMO, the head of finance, the head of coaching at your own studio. This stuff's kind of tricky. So if you know your marketing isn't where it should be in terms of the standard and the quality, reach out, have a chat, and we'll be able to go from there. But other than that, guys, keep smashing.